What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Fast. Today, let's get started with Sean O'Malley relishing Merab Dvalishvili prep this time, says don't watch if unhappy about rematch. Sean O'Malley is a lot more confident going into his second fight against UFC bantamweight champion Merab Dvalishvili. O'Malley lost his bantamweight title to Dvalishvili at UFC 306 by unanimous decision last September. O'Malley later revealed that he went into the fight with a torn labrum in his hip and underwent surgery after the fight to repair it. He said the injury hampered his ability to do any grappling in camp. This sounds like I'm exaggerating, and I'm not. Just today, this morning practice that I had, I grappled more today than I grappled last fight camp for Merab. I know it sounds like we did 7 6-minute rounds today, grappling hard, picking the hardest guys, just straight grappling today. I wasn't able to do that once last camp. It was great for what I was able to do. I felt as good as I could going into the fight. I know I could wrestle better than I showed in that last fight. Merab's tough. Merab's good. Merab's probably considered the greatest bantamweight of all time as of right now, so I'm going to go out there, knock him out. Michael Bisping wonders if Patricio Freire can overcome miles on the clock at UFC 314. Freire makes his octagon debut against former interim featherweight champion Yair Rodriguez in Saturday's main card opener at Kaseya Center from Miami. Freire has had a long tenured career at Bellator, capturing both the featherweight and lightweight titles simultaneously. Although Pitbull has a wealth of experience and standout wins throughout his career, the 37-year-old has lost 2 of his past 3 fights, one of them by first-round knockout. Can the old guy get it done? Patricio Pitbull, 37 years old, coming over from Bellator, where I think he was a 4-time champion. Biggest win probably was when he knocked out Mike Chandler in the very first round, vicious right hand. He's got good jiu-jitsu, but he's 37 years old. There's a lot of wear and tear, there's a lot of miles on the clock, and that's not surprising when you look at the amount of experience. 43 professional fights, 36 wins, 7 losses, but he has been knocked out twice. However, when you've fought that many times, there's no problem with that. Of course, he'll be taking on the one and only Yair Rodriguez, one of Mexico's finest. This man is not to be underestimated. He fought for the belt before against Alexander Volkanovski, didn't go his way, got stopped in the 3rd round, and then he got stopped again against Brian Ortega. He's trying to prove is he still relevant in the division. Henry Cejudo admits Paddy Pimblett is better than he initially thought. Although Pimblett is a slight betting favorite over Chandler, Cejudo would consider it an upset if he's able to beat the former multiple-time Bellator champion, and he thinks he will. I'm smelling an upset. Paddy Pimblett, I think he's going to bring in the grappling. His hands are not bad either. I also think he can force Michael Chandler to do something in the bottom. If he cannot take Michael Chandler down, he's more likely going to have to do that. But I just feel like Paddy Pimblett. He's a lot better than what I thought and what he was able to do to Bobby Green, his transitional stuff. We've got to put some respect on that dude's name, and he's only gotten better, bro. I just feel like with Michael Chandler, I think the UFC knows what they're doing. They're doing a 5-rounder. Like, think about it. I think Paddy Pimblett is a lot better than what we think, and I'm smelling an upset here. Looking at the landscape of the lightweight division, Cejudo sees big implications for Pimblett with a win. I do believe that a win over Michael Chandler could put him in a really good position. He could be 1 fight away from fighting for the title. Chael Sonnen makes bold prediction for Sean O'Malley's featherweight future. Chael Sonnen recently discussed Sean O'Malley's prospects in the UFC featherweight division and expressed interest in seeing Suga test himself at 145 pounds. Sonnen highlighted O'Malley's physical traits and used other fighters as an example to highlight the possibilities for Suga achieving success. I want O'Malley at 145 pounds. That's what I want. He's got the frame for it. He's got the build for it. He's got the attitude. He's even got a desire, and I'm completely convinced of how well he would do in 2 regards. First off, the top guy bounced who's Ilia. Second off, the next best thing Volkanovski, if he doesn't have some luck here, is gonna be retired in 2 weeks. That's a reality. And third is look how well Aljo's done. Go watch how well Aljo did at everything. Tom Aspinall explains what Paddy Pimblett does really well with his unorthodox striking. Paddy Pimblett is currently running on an undefeated streak in the UFC. Recently, fellow English UFC fighter Tom Aspinall delved into a discussion where he broke down Pimblett's fighting style. Given Pimblett's dominant performances throughout his UFC career, Aspinall, who shares a strong camaraderie with him, provided a detailed assessment of why this lightweight prospect has been successful in the promotion. What he does really well, I think Paddy with his striking is he doesn't punch orthodox. He throws like weird whippy round the side hooks, and the same with his kicks. He kind of has his hands relaxed and just like snaps at kick up, you know what I mean? He's not throwing the old Thai boxing loading up on it. He's snapping the legs up. And the thing is with Paddy, he's so flexible, so mobile in his hips that as soon as he gets into like a clinching kind of situation, he can throw up them flying triangles. And something else with Paddy as well is he'll throw kicks because he doesn't getting taken down. I think ultimately, Paddy's really difficult to prepare for because he's so unorthodox. Ariel Helwani makes eye-opening remark on why Ilia Topuria's next fight must be announced before UFC 314. Ariel Helwani recently weighed in on why Ilia Topuria's next fight should be made official before UFC 314 takes place. Early speculation suggested that Topuria might receive an immediate title shot against reigning champion Islam Makhachev. However, those rumors were quickly put to rest after the Dagestani's team dismissed the possibility of the matchup. Helwani noted that the upcoming Volkanovski versus Lopes matchup carries the feel of an interim title fight, given the lack of clarity regarding the undefeated Spaniard's future. What bothers me about this card is that I feel like the UFC needs to clarify the Ilia Topuria situation by Saturday. This title fight happening without any sort of resolution as to what his next step is weird to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they come out on Friday and be like, it's Ilia versus Islam. Okay, now I understand why he vacated the title. It makes sense. If we get nothing, I feel like this will feel like an interim title for some reason. It just seems weird to me that this title fight is happening, and we don't know what he's doing by now. KSI gets 100% real about fighting Conor McGregor someday, makes surprising revelation about potential fight. YouTuber turned boxer KSI recently weighed in on potentially fighting former UFC double champion Conor McGregor. The Brit discussed negotiations for a potential matchup, claiming that the Notorious refused to fight with him. McGregor notably issued a call-out to KSI during his appearance at the heavyweight boxing bout between Anthony Joshua and Robert Helenius. Although the duo have gone back and forth several times, a fight between the two is far from coming to fruition, especially considering McGregor still has 2 fights left on his UFC contract. I tried fighting Conor McGregor and it didn't happen. He refused. But it is what it is. He's doing his thing. He's got a lot going on, especially with BKFC and whatever situation he's going through. Jon Jones expresses gratitude to Bro, who gives him a gift after every victory. UFC heavyweight champion Jon Jones apparently receives gifts from one of his friends after every victory. Following his latest win over Stipe Miocic at UFC 309, the friend gave an intriguing gift to Bones, who was more than excited. The friend in question is none other than Brandon Gibson, Jones's MMA coach. Bones recently shared an image of himself with Gibson and penned a heartfelt note in a social media post. My bro Brandon Gibson gives me a gift after every victory, something to capture the moment in time, a piece of history. I want to give you a big thank you to Brandon and Hans Molenkamp for their collaboration on this incredible blade. I'll carry it with me proudly, grateful to call you guys friends. Jones's latest fight was in November, following which he expressed interest in fighting then light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira. The statement created criticism, as the heavyweight division has an interim champion in Tom Aspinall. Nonetheless, UFC CEO Dana White is confident that Jones will fight Aspinall.